Hi, everybody. Miss Carrie at Bester Community of Hope. And I am joined with our good friend, Kay Papeskov, who is a driving instructor and one of our partners at the Walking School Bus program at Bester Elementary School. So, Kay, safe pedestrian behavior. Like, what is that?
Well, safe pedestrian behavior means being responsible for your own actions.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes, there are laws that are in place to protect us and sometimes to give us right of way, but at the end of the day, we need to be responsible for our own behavior and our own safety. And knowing how to do that is absolutely critical, and it can never be too early to start.
Okay. So, never can be too early. Well, what if my child isn't even walking yet, or I have a preschooler? They're everywhere. Like, when is it too young, or when is the right time to start teaching or modeling good behavior as a pedestrian?
That's a very good question. The thing that a lot of people don't realize is that our kids start imitating us from a very, very young age. So, us taking responsibility for our own way of keeping ourselves and our children safe on the street is very critical even before they even learn how to walk, because they are watching what we do and they are mimicking what we do. One of the hardest things that I find as a parent and a citizen is practicing what I preach.
Yeah, that is hard. But I think you're right. If I'm using safe pedestrian behavior and my child sees me doing that, they're more likely to do what I do.
Absolutely, but also enforcing it as well, because they may not be paying attention exactly to what you're doing, but alerting them to, let's say, looking where you're supposed to look and telling them exactly what you're doing may make them pay a little bit more attention to that.
Hmm. So
Distractions.
that's a really good thing because I remember when I was growing up, there were certain things at school that we did, right? So stop, drop, and roll. But I remember learning when you're going to cross the street, you got to look left, then look right, then look left, and then go. What do you think about that?
That is a myth.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, because it's easier to say look left, right, and left, or look both ways before you cross the street, it's very catchy. And you even hear it in Barney songs and videos when it's very dangerous.
Hmm. How so?
So if you are crossing the street in the middle of the street, let's say not at a crosswalk at an intersection, the vehicles will be coming from both directions, left and right. So at that point, yes, that will apply. But should we be really crossing the street at places where there are no crosswalks at intersections?
No, we really shouldn't. That's not a safe place to cross, right?
No, it's absolutely not. The best place to cross is at an intersection, w- preferably with a traffic light, but we don't have that all the time. And we will talk about that later. But at an intersection, you can have vehicles coming from many different directions. If it's a four-way intersection, you will have vehicles coming from all four directions. If it's a five-way intersection, guess what? You will have vehicles coming from five different streets.
Yeah.
So you have to actually turn around and look behind you to see if anybody's coming from there. Look ahead of you as well, because somebody might be turning in front of you or behind you. So that's one of the best things you can do.
So I really shouldn't assume that the driver sees me as a pedestrian. I shouldn't assume that, I'm going to cross the street and everybody can see me.
No, drivers can be very distracted. And also, there are a lot of drivers that don't even understand where there is a crosswalk and pedestrians that might be there.
Okay.
So, this is going to be very important also for the parents that are driving, making sure that they understand that absolutely every single intersection has an implied crosswalk.
What does
And
that mean?
so that means that people assume that there's a crosswalk only when there's pavement markings indicating it,
Okay.
but that is not true. Not all crosswalks are paved properly and painted and will not have markings telling you that there's a crosswalk there. But if there is an intersection, a crosswalk is implied.
Okay, I didn't know that. So when I'm walking, if I'm going to the store, I shouldn't cross, in the middle of the road or between parked cars. I should go to one intersection or the other, even if it means I have to walk a little further, but
Oh,
I'll be safer.
absolutely. Absolutely. Safety is a little bit more important than walking, let's say, another 100 feet.
Sure,
And
sure.
also, it's good for you.
It is good for you. It is
Yes.
really good for you. What else should parents with kids under 5 know about being safe walkers with their children?
So, one of the things that's very important that unfortunately a lot of people don't realize whether they're walking or driving, always be afraid of the things you can't see. Because when you look around, if you can see the car coming at you, that's fantastic. But what if you're walking and right next to you is a big UPS truck? And
Mhm.
if you look, let's say, to the right, do you think you're going to see the cars coming from behind that truck?
Probably not.
So, playing a game where you can ask your kids, hey, where do I have the least visibility? Where can I not see? Is going to be maybe fun. And then they can look around the corner and say, oh, there's a car right there. And maybe the bush is hiding something else over there. So playing that game is going to actually prepare them to be safer drivers later on as well. Because always worry about the things you can't see because you cannot predict what may be coming from there.
That's a really great tip. I mean, sometimes I feel like talking about safe pedestrian behavior sounds really kind of lame and boring, but turning it into a game and a game about keeping ourselves safe is a great way to teach kids to be safe pedestrians and safe bicyclists too. We want to make sure that when our kids are on bikes, they're obeying the rules of the road too, and always wearing a helmet. Okay. I thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, it's my
And I thank
pleasure.
you for the walking school bus program and being a leader in our community to help keep our kids safe on the street.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, everybody, and be safe.
Thank you.